Hello everybody and welcome. We've got a couple people here. I'm just gonna wait a moment for hopefully a few more to show up. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Alrighty. I'm just gonna wait a minute or two. Hello Josh, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, 3 people. Usually we can expect like 15 or so, so I'll just give it a minute. But thank you guys for tuning in. Today I'm going to be building Bane's speeder here. I actually had purchased this a really long time ago. It's been sitting on a shelf for a long time. Hello Dunder Mifflin, welcome. It is going good. How about you? I am ready to build some stuff. So that's fantastic. I've got a used set here that I purchased from the Netherlands, Bane's speeder, as you can tell by the video name and thumbnail. But I don't have instructions, so I have downloaded them off of lego.com, and that is how we're going to be making progress today. Are you doing anything interesting, Dunder Mifflin? Hello, Jack. Welcome. Alrighty, I suppose I can get this open now. I actually bought this, like, I might have purchased this before we had our first stream, so it's been sitting for a very long time. And I just dropped our first piece. Uh-oh. There we are. This will be the first of many. You are cataloging today. That is fantastic. That's what I have been doing the last couple days. And brand new lighting. You can actually see the difference between light gray and light bluish gray. Yeah, those two can be tough. And even with good lighting, it's still not always easy, because sometimes you got a question between whether or not something is, you know, faded light bluish gray or actually light gray. So it looks like most of the minifigs here are partially assembled. So we have 2, I believe that they're called Royal Guards, even though it's a Chancellorship, but Senate Guards or whatever. Hello 150 Bricks. Hello Lego Military Mox. Thank you for tuning in. Hello Sean Olson. Welcome. So we have got 2 Senate Guards, Bane. I don't believe that this is Hondo Onaka, but it is a one of his pirates, I believe. Or at least it is a Weequay pirate or bounty hunter. And we've got an assassin droid here. So this is what we're going to be building. So I've got the instructions on my laptop, so might as well get started. I don't know how long today's stream is. I'm going to try and finish this. It is, however, probably going to get quite hot in here, so we'll see how long I last. The garage is not insulated and does not have any form of AC, although I do have 2 doors open, so hopefully there'll be some nice cross breeze. And welcome, Mr. Chills a lot. I am so glad to have you here today. How is school? That is usually what I ask whenever you show up. I will do the honors. General Kenobi. So, other than Dunder Mifflin, is anybody doing anything exciting in the moment? Ah, Mr. Chills-a-Lot, you are finally on vacation. That is great to hear. Hopefully you are completely removed from school over vacation and are enjoying your time off. Are you doing anything fun? And yes, we are indeed such nerds. I would hope that anybody involved in the Lego business sphere would be. Bailey says he is eating ice cream. What flavor of ice cream? That is the important question. I will say the scan quality of digitized instructions is leaves much to be desired. Especially of some of these older ones. Bailey is eating mint chip. That is fantastic. Not quite my favorite flavor. I'm not actually sure what my favorite flavor is, but that is definitely up there. Hello, Fun Brick Creations. Welcome. Lego Military Mock says he's looking at Lego. Uploaded 199 lots earlier. That is really great. Is that what you kind of average daily, or is that a milestone for you? And I'm doing great, Fun Brick Creations. How about you? Well, mostly great. It is not at this exact moment, but it has been incredibly hot here, and so my sleep has been quite miserable. So I'm always a bit tired, but you know, hopefully until it cools down. But other than that, I'm doing great. Jack Wilkinson says, from Monday, I'll be working in the warehouse rather than home. Can't wait. That is fantastic. How big is your warehouse? I assume that means in relation to BrickLink. It's your BrickLink warehouse. But I'm curious how big that is. Is it a true warehouse or just a large storage unit? Mr. Chills-a-Lot says, I'm working on the Lego sorter. Actually using hardware and figuring out how to be able to run the correct software that allows me to tune the computer vision programs. That definitely sounds like an invigorating, a mentally stimulating way to spend your vacation, which is mighty cool. How much? I haven't really been following that too much. I assume that this is in relation to kind of the group one that a bunch of people are working on. What's the progress on that? I haven't really asked for an update in a long time. And glad to hear that you are doing well, Fun Brick Creations. So yeah, as far as a warehouse, I cannot wait until we reach the point where we can justify that kind of a cost. It would be awesome to move out of this garage and into an air-conditioned facility. Lego Military Mox says, I try to upload as much as possible, but I rarely get over 100 lots in 24 hours, so milestone of sorts. Also been baking here in the UK, 21 degrees Celsius at 11 p.m. Let's see, what would that be? 21 C Fahrenheit. 70 degrees. Your definition of baking is, I wish it was 70 degrees at 11 p.m. here. It's like 75 to 80 in my room at night. It sucks. But Lego Military Mox, are you doing, is that 100 lots cataloged if used, or are you adding new with that? And welcome, Zhao. Glad to hear you. How are you doing today? Jack Wilkins says, no, it's for work. It's a proper warehouse full of Lego pieces for Lego Master Builders. Right, right. That is great. Are you just returning to work after COVID? Is this like your first day back? Yeah, Lego Military Mox also has humidity, I'm sure. Humidity makes a huge difference in how hot 75 degrees is. That is totally true. Our humidity here is usually like 60%, because we're right on the coast. But I imagine that, you know, it can get quite bad in a lot of places. Around 26 here in Newcastle. Yeah, it seems like this summer is definitely going to be a hot one, especially like out in the Midwest, in the United States. I have heard that it is, I mean, they're having huge drought problems right now, and it is incredibly hot. New lots. Finished off my used. Sadly, I am only allowed to purchase new. That sucks. But, you know, at least there are lots of people out there that do want to buy only new. So that still is, I mean, we did only new for the majority of our history. And yes, I am on live chat, Mr. Chills a lot. But we did only new for basically a whole year. Yeah, December to December. I don't think we started adding used until 2021, if I remember correctly. So you can totally grow with just new. Funbit Creation says, most of my week I've finished off the typewriter and now I'm building the new architecture Taj Mahal. Very cool. I believe you had talked about the typewriter before, which is just such a cool set. I wish I had more room to display stuff. I did recently just purchase the mystery machine from someone in our Discord, and that will be arriving in 3 or 4 days, and I'll be building that on a stream. I don't know if it'll be next week, but I will be building that on a stream. Funbird Creation says, I'm glad you're live this week. We've been in a mini lockdown for a week or so, which is very boring. Yeah, that sucks. Lockdowns are pretty much over here. Is it still pretty bad over there, or is this just kind of a little flare-up? Jack Wilkinson says, we usually get boxes of Lego pieces to build models delivered to our house to work from home, but now I'll have to travel to the warehouse with over 10 million pieces. That is an insane amount of pieces. I wish that we had 10 million pieces here. That is absolutely insane. Lego Military Mock says it's 70% humidity tonight. Funbrick says, I've uploaded all the videos, so that is great. Yeah, being in lockdown does definitely give you time to work on videos. That is true. You know, something I realized about this set is that because it's used, a lot of the pieces have been pre-stickered. So I wonder how I'm going to decide whether or not I'm supposed to use a stickered piece. I guess I'm going to have to look at a picture or something. Yeah, Zhao, I agree. 10 million is absolutely crazy. But I assume that your work gets the pieces direct from Lego, right? You buy them directly. I mean, I would imagine in that quantity, you know, you have to. Funberg Creation says, it isn't too bad, but a flare-up in 2 of our states. We go into lockdowns very quickly when there's only a handful of local cases so that it doesn't get out of control. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I expect, well, we'll see what happens with the Delta variant, but I think that we're pretty much done with the lockdowns here. depending on your political stance, I think that a lot of people will not tolerate another lockdown, and depending on what you think, that's either a good or a bad thing. But I don't think that too many states or governors are going to try imposing any more lockdowns. So, yeah, up to you what that means. Mr. Chislot says, I was wondering, how do you keep a record of clocking in out of work? Do you keep track manually or with RFID cards or something? We keep track manually. We've thought about RFID cards, but it's just not worth it. When we get employees, maybe. Excuse me. But for us, we just track it manually. We have a spreadsheet. I think I did a video. Unfortunately, I had filmed a screen rather than screen capped, just because of the nature of the video. That kind of showed our clock, and so it's rather blurry. But you can go look at, I think it was 5 tips to make your BrickLink store more efficient, or something like that. It's not a super great video, but there's like an example of what our timesheet looks like, if you can read it through the blur. So yeah, but we basically just clock in and out using that. Sometimes it gets complicated because we don't always work straight through in a shift. Sometimes we'll take multiple lunch breaks, and our spreadsheet doesn't really accommodate that, so it can get a little bit difficult at the end of the month when we're doing payroll. But yeah, that's basically what it is. I imagine we'll upgrade as we grow, but for now that just works. Jack Wilkinson says, yeah, we're a private company which works with Lego to build models for other companies. All pieces are bought privately from Lego. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Do you guys just basically get whatever the contract is? Like, if a company contracts you to build something, then you just get any piece that is required to build it? Or do you have to work through a catalog and try and create something only from cataloged pieces? Funbrick says, I am lucky that I enjoy being home and have Lego edit, upload videos, and puzzles to keep me entertained. Indeed. Joey says, hello all from Oregonian Brick. Hello, Oregonian Brick. I hope you are doing well, and I hope that Oregon is not too hot. I'm not sure if you are caught in the Midwest heat wave right now, but if you are, then I am sorry. But yeah, Mr. Chills a lot. It's pretty straightforward. We just clock it manually. The RFID things, at least the ones that are purpose-built for clocking in and out, are not cheap. I assume we could probably build something with a Pi or something more off-brand, but it's just easier to track it manually. Evan, Kyle, and I aren't going to lie about our hours, so it's fine. Uh-oh. I do not see this piece. Hmm. I am looking for, I don't know the technical name of the piece, but, here we are. This, these little turny thingies. The Lego channel says hello. Hello, Lego channel. Jack Wilkinson says, we try to keep a set number of pieces, and if we run out, then Lego sends more out. That makes sense. I assume that because most of your stuff are like mega builds, it's mostly all bricks. You don't need too much of other stuff. Like, you don't do smaller stuff, right? It's usually those like massive statues that you see at like Legoland and stuff, right? Mr. Chiselot says, making your own RFID system is actually not that hard, and there already exist a lot of libraries for Arduino and Pi, whichever one you prefer. Yeah, I have a Pi, and I've played around with it. I am planning on using it to manage my my reptile tank. Yeah, it's just something that we haven't really gotten around to. It'll probably happen at some point. I expect when we move, it will happen, but up until then, there's just other priorities. It'd be fun, but you know, it just gets added to the list of stuff. Joey says that it is in the 80s there. Yeah, that is not too hot. I mean, it's hot for me, but it's definitely not as bad as like some of those 100-something degree temperatures. Daniel says hello. Hello, Daniel. Jack says correct. 50% of our stock is bricks, but we keep some unique pieces to add extra detail to models. Makes sense. How many like commissions do you guys get per year? Right? Because I mean, I imagine it's a pretty niche thing, but I also imagine there aren't a lot of companies that do it. So, you know, like, what is considered a busy season for you? Funbrick says it's 8 degrees Celsius, which is about 46.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it like during winter it might get that during like the evenings and at night or early morning, but it will never get that during the day. Although I don't know, it's probably not day there, but yeah, it's definitely chilly. Wish it was closer to that here, but unfortunately it is not. I'm making a lot of progress on this. I am a little worried that I'm going to finish this, because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do after that. I do have another set sitting here, but I don't actually know if it's complete or not. I was up in the attic, and I found this bag. It has a set number on it that I can barely read. It's 7675, which I believe is a walker. But I don't know if this is complete. I don't know if this is the right label. It looks like it is indeed the walker, but yeah, if we run out of this, maybe I'll open this up. But this is probably a multi-day build, so we'll have to see. Mr. Chiselot says, I've been meaning to make a program for RFID since I bought one. If I finally get to it, I'll send you the code if you want. Yeah, that would be fantastic. You can always just email it to us at our email, just to brickinthebucket@gmail.com, and we'll take a look. Or Kyle will take a look. But yeah, do let us know. Jack says the busiest season is summer. Most of our contracts are for different Legolands. That makes sense. So you almost exclusively buy from Lego and provide services for Lego. That seems rather interesting to me. You would think that maybe that it would be cheaper for Lego to just hire people, but maybe not. Well, I guess not, because they don't. But yeah, it's still kind of odd. Funbrick says, building big Lego models sounds fun but challenging at the same time. I agree. I imagine that there's actually a great deal of engineering that goes into those, especially because, you know, it's obviously, well, I hope it's not just one person assigned to the whole thing. It's rather a bunch of people, and so you gotta intelligently divide up everything and make sure that everybody's building it correctly. Mr. Joslot says, also, 1 week ago I made something really cool, a calculator for matrices with a LCD display and keypad and everything. You are definitely a very productive individual, Mr. Joslot. I will say that, or Vincent. You are always working on something. It's very cool. Something in here is loose, and I don't know what it is, but I guess we'll find out. Big models are fun to build when you have multiple people working on the model. Yeah. Do you all usually like work together in the same room? Like is it a group project, or does each person kind of get assigned their own section and then kind of build it independently? Jack Wilkins says technically we work for Lego, but we are just a separate company that builds for Lego. Okay. So you're not a wholly owned subsidiary or anything. You do occasionally do work for other people. So, I think I'd already asked this, whether or not anybody was building anything interesting. Obviously, Jack, you are building something interesting. But is anyone doing any non-Lego related things that are interesting? Other than Mr. Chillslot, of course. Mr. Chillslot says, well, a lot of students like to party every week, but since I pretty much did enough of that during high school, I spend my time learning more. Uh-oh. Yeah, I can't say that I'm really much of a partier either, but I can't also say that I spend my time super productively either. Star Wars Rebel Store. I assume that means Star Wars Rebel Store. Hi again. First comment with store profile. This week I noticed that on BrickOwl, when the order is placed through Rebrickable, the commission is double. I hate fees. Yeah. Oh, okay. You're Zhao. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. That's because they want their money. It sucks. Wish I was Rebrickable though. That'd be some pretty good commission. Jack Wilkinson says, yeah, the last project we did in the warehouse was a life-size Lego minifigure for Legoland Windsor. That is super cool. And don't worry, Zhao, your English is totally fine. I've seen quite worse. So don't worry about it. I've used quite more badly. I've used quite more badly English before. So don't worry about it. Funbrick says I should be trying to look for work before getting more Lego sets and also be more productive. Yeah, I am doing this in school right now, and that's and playing too many games, and not doing enough chores. That's what I'm doing right now. Jack Wilkinson says, we have an upcoming project for a private company. It's a 10-to-1 Lego house. That is quite cool. I could imagine a real estate company or an engineering company doing that. That would be quite nice. Lego Military Mox says, seems I need to return to Legoland Windsor after COVID. Indeed. Evan, Kyle, and I want to go to Legoland at some point. Not sure when, but I think it would be really cool. I haven't been there. I don't think I've been there since middle school when I went with my cousins. And before that, I hadn't been there since I was a little kid. So it would be very nice to return as an adult and see what's up there. Mr. Shizlot says, what are you in school for? Something for business. Yeah, I'm getting my AA in business, and then I'm going to get my BA and maybe my MBA. I'm not sure. I'm not doing it for work, like to get a degree, to get a job somewhere else. I'm doing it to learn for my own business. So, you know, we'll just see whatever ends up being the best for that. Right now, I'm specializing, at least for my BA, I'm specializing in supply chain management and logistics. If I do get my MBA, then I'll probably switch to like an executive MBA or an entrepreneurial MBA. MBA, not NBA. I'm not sure. I haven't done enough research. But I'm doing a self-paced program right now. So it's limited options, but I'm going through that really fast. So it's totally worth the limited options, especially because it has supply chain management and logistics, which right now, at least, I think that's going to be, at least how we want to grow the business, that's going to be the best thing for the near future, at least that I can directly apply here. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I should be able to go through the whole self-paced program up through completing my BA. The school I'm going to does technically have self-paced programs for an MBA, but at that level of education, I feel like I would probably prefer a more traditional education at that point, just because I'm going to want to be able to ask questions and learn more abstract things, and I feel like I would probably get a better chance at that in a real classroom at that level. But up until then, I don't think that there's any point in doing a more traditional schooling. Lego Military Mox says, went 5 to 6 years ago. I'll just look at Pick a Brick and for old Lego sets. Yeah. That's probably, well, if we went, I mean, I know we would buy stuff, but it would primarily be to check out the park. Funbook Creation says, yes, I'm the same with games and no chores. Mr. Shillslot says, seems like a good program for what you're willing to accomplish. Also, what games have you been playing? I've been on an RPG fix recently. I had gone back and replayed Mass Effect because, you know, the Legendary Edition came out, and I finished that, and I was like, you know, I've never played any other BioWare games, but I like RPGs, right? And the reason why I had not played Dragon Age was I started with Inquisition. A friend got me to play Inquisition, and I had just finished playing Dark Souls, and those two games are about as opposite as you can possibly get. And so I could not deal with the combat that had absolutely no maneuverability. and was like this quasi turn-based but real-time. I don't know, Dragon Age combat makes no sense. But I've decided that now I'm going to go back and replay it, and I started with Origins rather than Inquisition, and I've been having a lot of fun. It's a great game. So I'm just going to play through that whole series. And after that, I'm not sure. I have a long list of stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. I kind of want to go and play some like more classic games that I haven't played that were more before my time. But we'll see. I also need to convince myself to get my money's worth out of Cyberpunk 2077. So that's going to have to happen at some point. I've heard that it's been patched quite well. I'm still waiting for some DLC or some content updates. But that will happen at some point. Anyone here who's played Cyberpunk 2077, if anyone has, is it good now? At least for someone who is playing because they like an RPG in terms of like the role-playing aspect and the story aspect of it. Is it good yet? And also, what games have you been playing, Funbrick? Funbrick says that my go-to game is The Sims 4. Yeah, I'm not too much of a simulator person. Well, I mean, I know Sims 4. Sims, I guess it's, a simulator. But yeah, not really. I've never been able to play those kinds of games for long periods of time. I don't like to think when I play games. So strategy games, complex simulators, anything like that, I really struggle with. Other than Stellaris, I love Stellaris, but that's really it. Mr. Chillslot says, I bought Cyberpunk day one and gave up on it after 6 hours and never touched it again. Yeah, that's exactly where I am too. I wanted The Witcher, and I got Far Cry. I guess that's probably the best way to explain it. I wanted a very dense world that didn't have a ton of content in it, right? Like, quality over quantity. Instead, I got a huge world with a lot of fetch quests and a lot of seems like procedurally generated questing and dungeons and mopping up crime type stuff, which doesn't really capture my interest. So maybe I'll go back and replay The Witcher. That is always an option, but I have played that game many times, so maybe it's time for something new after I finish Dragon Age. Does anyone have any excellent RPG suggestions here? Lego Channel says, yeah. Is that referring to Cyberpunk being good now? I realize we're a little off topic with the game, so hopefully current audience is all right with that. If you want me to change topic at any time, someone can say something in chat, and I can go off on any tangent that you could possibly dream up, except probably sports. I can't go off topic on sports. Mr. Showslot says, I tried to fully complete the last Far Cry, but if you really try to do every mission, it gets way too repetitive, and I never completed the campaign. Yeah, I like short and sweet. 20 to 40 hours is what I consider the optimal game length. Some games obviously are an exception to that rule, but I feel like much beyond that, it gets very difficult to have a game that does not have just fluff in it. And some people like those games, and I'm not trying to say that those games are bad, right? Because they're not. Some of those games are considered some of the best games. It's just I can't play them for long periods of time. doing the same thing over and over again. Doom is also another one that I've tried many times to get into. And for some reason, despite loving the soundtrack, despite loving the world, despite loving the design, I've just never been able to get into Doom. Funberg Creation says, I like my puzzle, strategy, and simulation games. I'll listen to and try to participate in any topic. I also play Euro and American truck simulators. Star Wars Rebel says, I play PES 2021, Real Football, GTA 5, and Valheim. Valheim's been on my list, but it's also... Excuse me, I am just burping all today. Valheim has been on my list. It's a survival game, though, so it is multiplayer. So I would need to find a group of friends to mess around in it, or it probably couldn't keep my attention. I have the ADHD brain, and if something is not deeply engaging, I find it very difficult to make progress in it. What am I looking for here? I swear I've almost picked up this piece multiple times, and then I get distracted, and then I can't find it again. Oh my gosh. I'm going crazy. There we are. Rebel Store says, I play alone, but it's better with 2 friends. Yeah, I can imagine. Evan and I have gone back into Minecraft occasionally, and that's the same thing. It is definitely way better with friends. GTA is another game that I've never really gotten into. When I was growing up, my parents were quite protective about what content I could enjoy, and so it just kind of passed me by. And as a result, I just never ended picking it up. I did end up playing Saints Row, though, which is kind of like GTA 5. And I loved Saints Row, one of my favorite games of all time. But I've never sat down to actually play the original, gangster game. But maybe at some point I will, because I think it's the highest grossing entertainment product ever made, which has got to count for something. So. Yes, I believe. Okay, now I gotta check this. Is Grand Theft Auto the highest grossing media product? Okay, but is it more sold than the Bible? Grand Theft Auto 5 is the most financially successful media title of all time. This includes games, films, presumably books, and music as well. But I can't see if that also covers religious books, because last I checked, the Bible was the most sold copy of any media ever created. Ghost Recon Wildlands, Mr. Chillslot says, Ghost Recon Wildlands has a giant map and repetitive missions. Because the missions are in totally different environments, and I did the campaign twice. Definitely one of my favorites. GTA 5 Online is my most played game. Interesting. Funberg Creation says, I've never gotten into fighting, action, RPG games. Yeah, I mean, different strokes for different folks. But, I don't know. I'm very much a story-based person. In all media. And so if I can't get emotionally attached to the game, whatever thing it is, I just can't convince myself to like play it. I just don't find it enjoyable. And RPGs are, well, most known for that, you know, unless you're counting immersive sims, but I would call an immersive sim an RPG. They're very close genres. But yeah, I like them, just for that reason. But I can totally understand if you don't. I can't really describe why I don't like strategy games. So I just have never been able to get into them. Mr. Chilzlot says, best campaign I ever played is RDR2. Have you played it? No, but I have it installed, and I constantly look at the icon. I received it as a gift, and it's definitely something that I will play. Maybe I'll do that next, but that's a commitment. I believe that that's a very big game. So we'll have to see. But it's definitely something that I want to play. I have heard nothing but good things about it. So there is that. And I'm glad that it comes with the recommendation of Mr. Chilzlot. So perhaps I will check it out. Or, well, actually play it. I believe I'd started it. Hello, Rain. Welcome. It's been a long time since we've seen you here. Welcome. How have you been? We haven't talked to you in quite some time. I hope you and your BrickLink store are doing well. But anyway, as I was saying, Jack Wilkinson says, does anyone else play Euro Truck Sim 2 in their free time? Yeah, Funbrick Creations does. Funbrick Creations does. I've never played any of the truck games, but they do seem very relaxing. So I don't know. Maybe that is something that I would check out. I don't know. I would need to do more research on it. Rain says, sorry, a lot more busy on weekends nowadays. Yeah, I get that. No worries. Rain says, my store's doing great. That's fantastic to hear. And thank you for hoping that ours does as well. It is going as well as can be expected during the summer months. So not perfectly, but we're still growing, which is the goal. So, uh-oh. What did I do? Ah. I see. Funberg says, plus I'm more addicted to games on my iPhone and iPad. Yeah, I've never really gotten into mobile gaming originally because, you know, it kind of had a certain reputation. I don't think that that reputation is warranted anymore. I think that there are tons of very good mobile games out there. I don't know. I've never sat down to play on my phone just because I'm not on my phone a ton. If I'm playing a game, it's usually on my PC. I mean, I guess I could install something like BlueStacks or something to play mobile games on my computer. That's definitely a possibility. When Near Reincarnation comes out of early access, I will probably do that on my PC. Rain says, "How is the used parts going?" Rain says, "Used is my biggest fear." Yeah, it's a major shift. in how you look at things. Used is going great, though. It is boosted our sales a ton. Most orders have used parts in them now. The vast majority of them. Since we've started adding it, we've seen so many more sales. Overall, just everything has been better since we started adding used. I would say that it's fantastic. I do mostly used. Kyle does mostly new now. And then Evan's busy teaching a class, but he comes in the evening and adds my my catalog. Rain asks, how did you find the people you pay to sort? Also, do you mind sharing how much you pay them, or how do you pay them hourly? We're going to be having a stream with Chris from Great Brick Labs talking about catalogers, sorters, and contractors on the 24th at 3 o'clock. There should be a community post going up today. We finally got the image that we wanted to have done, so it'll be going up. Evan's gone on an overnight shoot for work tonight, so maybe tomorrow, because he has it on his computer. But you can drop a question in there, and Chris and I will be answering it live on stream. But to answer some of your questions now, how do you find the people that you pay to sort? Friends. We don't have very good luck. It's very difficult to find people. The pay is not great. It's fair. But it's not great. So, you know, there is that. It's especially around here. If we were paying what we were paying, not in Orange County, California, I think that a lot of people would be willing to do it. I don't want to give exact numbers yet. We haven't decided what we're going to say, because then it kind of locks us into that number. If we ever decide to change it with other contractors. So I don't want to say a specific number, but for contractors it's double digits, and for for sorters it's double digits, and for catalogers it's triple digits. I think in the future we're going to try using Nextdoor. Word of mouth just has not been effective. We got a lot of high schoolers who wanted to do it, well, 2. And they dropped it, well, technically 3. It got floated around a bit. Friends have not been the most reliable. So I think we're going to go on Nextdoor in order to try and find people. The biggest problem is people don't want to stick it out long enough to see that it gets much more efficient. Your first time is going to take you way longer than subsequent times. I can catalog 5 to 10 pounds of Technic in 4 to 5 hours now, maybe like 8 hours. At the beginning, I could have done that over a couple days. So people don't want to just take the time to learn. So I think that that's by far the biggest problem. Rain wants to know. And by the way, how we pay them is sorters get paid per pound, catalogers get paid per pound plus commission. They get a commission off of the total worth of the BSX after Evan and I have checked it. So that's that. Evan teaches a film summer camp. So yeah, that's what he's teaching. He's teaching high schoolers how to shoot. Funbrick Creations. Oh, that is a message to somebody else. Mr. Chills a Lot says, hopefully one day some of that work will be able to be done by the Lego sorter. Yes, I agree. Hopefully a lot of it will be able to be automated, because it does not seem like that machine will be stealing jobs from very many people, as people don't want to do it. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at with it. I don't think I would call trying to catalog a failure. We just maybe approached it from the wrong angle. I do most of our catalog. I do all of our cataloging now, and I think I've gotten, not to brag, but I think I've gotten quite good at it. I don't know how many lots I've added, but well over 1,000. Well over 1,000, because people buy 2 in the last few weeks. And that's also while being the only person working in the store, really, because Evan's teaching and Kyle has work. But yeah, I think you could easily get contractors to do it if you could convince them or figure out a way to train them efficiently. Funbrick Creation says, as I sell used Lego, I don't take long to sort it, as it is only from my own collection, so I know it's real Lego and isn't dirty. Yeah, we don't necessarily we do use sorting to filter out bad quality, but that's more the cataloger's job. It's not actually the sorter's job. What we use the sorters for is to break it down into manageable batches that we can give to catalogers. So I will pick my so I go how my week starts is I go over to our buckets of sorted. These are sorted into 19 categories, and then I will go across multiple buckets and pick out all of one category. That will be my category that I am going to catalog. This way, we're having to consolidate as little as possible. It's all the same thing being added at once, which just makes it easiest. And then I just rotate through those categories, and by the time I get back to the first category, hopefully it will have been restocked. So that's more the method. That's the reason why we sort, rather than it being necessarily for quality checking, because the catalogers and the adders are the ones who really do the intense quality checking. That said, sorters do pull out bad things, but it's not their primary occupation. Mr. Chills-a-lot says he has to go. Goodbye, Mr. Chills-a-lot. Oh, I already did that. But yeah, Rain, it definitely also is expensive. After labor, our margins between new and used are approximately the same. They're not the same, but they're pretty close. It ends up being around a 30% margin. Actually, that's not accurate because there are some costs that we don't track yet. We don't track the cost of our own labor yet because we don't get salaried or hourly. We just get a profit slice. So it's not actually that high. It just seems like it is. If we actually did all... I don't know what the final number would be. But approximately 1/3 of the final sale price goes to sourcing. Approximately 1/3 goes to labor. And then obviously there's the labor cost of picking and actual adding and shipping, storage. There's lots of other little things in there that all add up. So it's not actually as easily divisible into 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. But that's just kind of roughly how you can think about it. So I would say used is primarily more there to bring people to your store. Uh-oh. I just got a message on our Gmail. Evan sent me... Ah, perfect. There will be a community post out today about the cataloger or the contractor stream. Goodbye, Jack. Jack. No need to say your whole name, but goodbye, Jack. Thank you for joining us. I don't know how much longer we're gonna go. It hasn't been a super long stream today, but there also aren't a ton of people here, so we'll see. As the active people leave, we might be tailoring this off. But thank you to everyone. Hopefully in the future we're going to be uploading more videos as well. I know we've said that multiple times, and videos have not been coming out super frequently. It's just we have been pushing on reaching our goal, 12,000 lots and 300,000 parts by the end of September, and so that's really what we've been focusing on. Hopefully, as we get into the fall here, more videos and more content for you guys will be coming out. But right now, I do feel like I need to shout the Patreon. There will be a brand new Patreon video coming out very soon. It's just finishing being edited right now, and I believe that our patrons will find it very entertaining. If you want to see that video, as well as several other less LEGO related, the Patreon videos are more behind the scenes type stuff. Not really BTS, but we just do whatever we want or whatever is fun. If you want to see more of that type of content, I highly do recommend you check out our Patreon. You can join for $3, $9, and $15, I believe. Different tiers to unlock different degrees of content. You also, at the highest tier, the Collector's Edition tier, get to join a monthly chat, a live chat with ourselves, the whole Just a Brick in the Bucket team, and all the other Collector's Editions. And that is honestly, in my opinion, the most valuable thing on our Patreon. Evan, Kyle, and I alone have learned a ton from those chats, so that's totally worth it in my opinion. But anyway, enough shelling of our Patreon. Let's get back to chat here. Funbrick Creation says, I don't know how easily I could upload used and new these days without using Brick Store. Now I just need to decide, is it worth getting Brick Freedom, even with only using BrickLink, as I don't have a Brick Owl store. Is it worth... Part of me wants to say that it is free. I believe I have heard that multiple times, if you are not syncing platforms. I don't want to say that with 100% confidence, but I strongly believe that. Maybe if someone else could confirm it, so I just don't feel like I'm crazy, but I believe if you're not syncing, it is free. So you would get access to all the tools on there, if that is the case. In which case, I would say it is worth it. If you did have to pay for it, and you weren't syncing, I would say it may not be worth it. The primary thing you're going to be getting with that is multi-order picking, and Brickstock merge, which I believe that there's a way to Brickstock merge without actually using Brick Freedom, hence why it's Brickstock merge. So may or may not be worth it to you. Dunder Mifflin says, I'm back, just watched the last episode of Loki with the fan. I cannot wait to see that. Please don't spoil it for me. I need to catch up on my Marvel and watch Loki. I've heard that it is amazing. Should be one more piece here somewhere. I hope I'm not missing a piece. I think I'm missing a piece. Uh-oh. Funbrick Creation says, I only get an order or two every week, so it isn't enough yet for multi-picking orders. Then yeah, it may not be worth it. I believe Rebel Store says, I believe multiple order picking is free. The merge, I'm not sure, but I merge with Brick Store. All right, okay, so it does look like it's partially a free service. But I mean, I definitely recommend it over other syncing platforms. We have had a couple issues with it, but the creator is super awesome in reaching out and solving problems almost immediately. So that that is something we were testing out a bot that we're making, and it had closed off our API because the bot accidentally sent like 30,000 API calls, which triggered some alarms on BrickLink's end, because a normal person will make a couple hundred, and BrickLink, Brick Freedom Creator, helped us get all that sorted out and fixed, and that wasn't even necessarily his job. So kudos to that. Of course, I would also like to thank Kyle, our resident technician, who also assisted with that. All right, if I cannot find this piece, then I may be wrapping it up. Wrapping it up here. Not because I lost the piece. I was planning on wrapping it up quite soon, but this might be as good a time as any for all of you people here. So, any last minute? Okay, Dunder Mifflin says, assuming POV is the same, is it more advantageous to part out 4 copies of one big set or 4 copies of multiple small sets? My thoughts are the bigger sets cost enough to push hobbyists away. That is, hello Brady. The stream ends when I stop getting questions that distract me from ending the stream. Thunder says, oh, okay, I already read that. So this is kind of a divided issue. If you part out multiple small sets, you will get higher lot count. However, with the larger sets like UCS or modulars or anything like that, the one argument is that not very many people have those parts in their stores because it's very difficult to get a 3 times part out for them. So you could make that argument. However, if you're just talking about big sets that are easy to get a 3 times part out value for, I would suggest you go with the multiple small sets because of the lot diversity. If you add 4 big sets, you're going to have a higher piece count but less lot variety, and overall I think the lot variety is more important. Unless, of course, like I said, they're difficult to get sets. If they're difficult to get sets, then it's probably worth it to do the 4 big sets. So yeah, that's kind of the opinion on the matter. Dunder Mifflin says, what if the lot count is the same? Then it doesn't matter. If the part out value is the same and the lot count is the same, then it doesn't matter. The only differentiating thing there would be the sell rate of the pieces, which if you want to do some data mining and some number crunching, you can go figure out the sales per 6 months and against the total items listed to figure out the probability that a given piece will sell in 6 months, and then select the one that has the fastest turnover rate, and that should be the one that you should do. Brady Persia asks, what set are you building? I'm building Bane's speeder. I'm missing a part though, which is why I've kind of stopped. I have the part on the wall, I bet, somewhere, but yeah, the stream already was kind of nearing ending, so this would be a great time. Hello Chris, welcome. You've kind of caught just at the end here. Chris says part drop. I don't think it's on the ground. I think this is a used set that I'd bought, and I think it is actually just missing. But yeah, we were just talking about you a while ago. There are definitely going to be some good questions for our stream here about catalogers, so that will be fantastic. Chris says, typical, always at the end for me. Yeah, it seems like you always kind of drop in at about the same time. Dunder Mifflin says, my thinking is small stores do all the same sets, but if they don't have the capital to buy big sets, then I can get the big ones and get better / rare pieces. Yes, that is true. That is totally true, and I would encourage that. However, you need to make sure that the set that you're buying, for that to actually make sense, you need to make sure that the pieces are actually in demand, right? There might be less people with them, but the demand needs to be big enough for that difference to make a difference, if that makes any sense. That's like the most strange way of putting it. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's a better way to maybe explain it. Having rarer parts is good and better than not having rarer parts, but they need to be rare enough to justify the lower part out value or higher capital investment. If you're spending $500 on something, then in my opinion, you should pick whatever has the most lots and highest turnover rate. But there's also a lot of good arguments for purchasing, for instead spending that $500 on something like a modular building, right? Or Lego Harry Potter, or something like that. But there are risks associated with that, so it's really up to you. Ben parts out a lot of big rare sets, so you might want to DM him on Discord or just ask him about it, and I'm sure he could give you some good arguments and a breakdown there. Chris says we're so close. Yes, I assume that is to the stream on the 24th. We are indeed so close. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully we get a high turnout. Chris says, we list all parts with no reservation. You never know what a customer may be looking for. Yeah, exactly. If you have the part ready to list, then, go ahead and list it. Brady says, I was missing a piece of Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle set. Thank God I had an extra piece in my bin. Yeah, I mean, thankfully we have, a huge wall here. They say never get high on your own supply, but sometimes, we take a cent piece. Chris, thank you so much. You have just reimbursed me for taking the piece out of my inventory that I have lost. Thank you, Chris. Well, that and some more, because I don't think it's a dollar piece. But thank you for the super chat. Awesome as always. Thank you. All right. Any last minute questions here before I give my little ending spiel? Let's see, is there anything that I had missed? Funbrick says, the way I choose my sets is I get what I can fit in my current amount of drawers that are free. That's not a bad way to figure it out. We're going to be running into that problem pretty soon. Our brand new wall is almost full, so we're going to have to build a new one over in that area. Definitely in August. At the rate that we're growing right now, we've added 1,000 lots in like the last 2 weeks. At the rate we're growing, we're going to need some more drawers. Looking forward to the live next week. Yes, I am as well. Thank you. Yes, it is a nice pace. I rather think so myself. As I don't mean to brag, but I have cataloged almost all of that, so I have learned Brick Store in and out in the last couple weeks. Chris says that we hope to be at 1 million parts by December, maybe more. That is an incredible goal. I hope you are going to have a celebration for that, a big party. Because I believe it actually still says on our YouTube that our goal is 1 million parts. But that would be that is a great goal to finally hit. Thank you, Funbrick. It was a fun stream. I missed the whole thing, and of course I missed it. Don't worry, the stream will stick around. It takes an hour or two to process, but you can go back and start over if you want. We do stream every week, 3 o'clock, Saturday, same time, so you can catch us then. Chris says we're going to have an open house party for our team and all the contractors. That is awesome. We should have a party at some point for something. The next party-worthy goal is probably going to be 500,000. So we'll have to see what happens there. We'll break out some champagne and adult beverages. Funbrick says, my first goal is 50,000 parts. That's a great goal to hit. It's around that point where you start getting more sales. You know, 60 to 100, you definitely start seeing a pickup. Maybe 60 to like 120. So, yep. All right, let me give my end spiel. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you are interested in having questions answered that we didn't manage to get to today, or you just want to join an amazing community of fellow LEGO enthusiasts and BrickLink sellers, make sure to check out the link to our Discord that is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community. There are over 300 people in there, I believe, now, who can help you answer questions and are down to chat. Also, if you're interested in talking to us directly, you can join our Patreon, the highest tier collector's edition, which is $15 a month. I do not have enough hands to do that, but you can join a monthly chat exclusively with us and the other collector's edition patrons if you want to find out more. Also, there are Patreon exclusive videos which don't really have anything to do with LEGO. They're just us having fun. But if you want to see more of that content, you can, of course, check out our Patreon. The tiers are $3, $9, and $15, I believe. So go ahead and check that out. You also get an exclusive chat in Discord and Rule Colors. Other than that, subscribe, like, have a great day, and I wish you all the luck with your own store or LEGO endeavors.